know what that was? Oh, that doo-doo, baby.
Yo, what's going on, bro?
What is a man?
A man
By the way,
is...
I'm gonna call you poor, and I don't want you to be mad about it.
Oh, no,
'cause I
yeah,
don't
no,
know the whole name.
I'm broke. I wouldn't be mad
Can
about
you
that.
give your age and pronouns before you contribute?
I'm 29 and I'm a she, her.
She, her?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Here we go. So what is a man? How do you define manliness?
A man is a adult male. Adult human male, to be more
So
specific.
you're describing a male. What's a man? So you're talking about biology. We're talking about sociology. So if we're talking about what makes somebody a man, what is that to you?
Oh, like what makes somebody a man, or specifically what is a man by definition?
What makes somebody a man? What makes somebody manly? So you described a male, which is a biological term. We're talking about the sociological term man.
But that's what a man is, an adult human male.
Gotcha. So you view those
that's biological.
I actually find the second question a little bit more interesting than the first one. The first one seems to be a gimme.
Yeah, it kind of is a gimmick because I get asked what's a woman all the time. So this was my response. So let's talk about the second one. Go ahead.
I think you define manliness through a man's willingness to strive for masculine virtues.
Which are what?
Protection, specifically.
Do you think protection is a way? Okay. You know what? Okay. Keep going, the Poor Man's Podcast. Keep going. Cook. I'm gonna let you cook.
Well, I think because men have the men have the monopoly on force.
The what?
Men have the monopoly on.
Back up. No, back up. I heard you. What was you about to say?
Men have the monopoly on force.
That's not what you were gonna say.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, let me guess. You want him to say the word authority, right? How about you shut up? Do me that solid and just stop speaking. Let him finish his point. Authority, monopoly. Because technically, if you have the monopoly of something, you have the authority. Who's going to stop you? Men have the authority, aka they have all the force to do this thing. And they also have the monopoly of force. So, sir, stop speaking.
Since men have the monopoly on force, and that kind of grants us with the ability to protect a little bit differently than women. And I think things that we contribute to manliness are things that associate with men becoming more capable of pursuing the masculine virtue of protection.
Do you think men are inherently protectors?
Yes.
Yes.
Who do we protect?
We protect society. We protect our families, women, children, and each other, hopefully. Our comrades.
Who do we protect them from? Who do we protect them from?
We protect them from the harshness of reality, nature, and other men specifically.
Hang on now, because you know I'm not talking about hurricanes. Who do we protect? Society, children, women, everybody, family.
Oh, wait, hold up. You can't do that. You can't do what you just did. You can't just take out the other stuff. Men actually also do protect you from hurricanes. They the one that build the shelter. They the one that build all the other things to protect you from natural disasters. So it's wild that you're trying to lead him to say they protect you from men, even though when women become violent, men protect people from women as well. You do know women get violent, right? I didn't know this was like a secret.
You can't be specific about that and take away hurricanes, because we do protect from hurricanes too, because we protect from everything.
Podcast, I just specified I'm not talking about hurricanes. So who, meaning, who do we protect people from?
People who try to intrude on the sovereignty of the people we love.
We're getting closer. Who are those people?
You can't do what you're doing. That's just stupid what you're doing. We're getting closer. He answered your question. Your question has been answered. I'm now getting upset. This is why you don't go on TikTok and have debates. You do not debate people on TikTok, because this is what happens.
If you want me to just say man or woman, men, because I understand this direction too, and we could go down this road too. But yes,
great. So let me ask you this question.
But specifically, though, I'm sorry. Let me be a little bit more specific. Bad men. men we consider to intrude on the sovereignty of the people we love.
Right, but you
Specifically.
said that it's inherently.
But you said men are
Yeah.
men are inherently protectors. Why? There can't be bad men.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, well,
What? See, this right here is drugs. This right here is fentanyl that y'all are doing right there. People inherently have two arms. So I guess people aren't born one arm, right? People are inherently born with a brain that they can use. Listening to y'all are proving that inherently can sometimes be wrong. There's rare cases. There's rare cases that people can't actually think. We can see that on TikTok. I can now see why the government was doing what it was doing to TikTok. You see what it do to people?
Inherently protectors. Why? There can't be bad men.
yeah, but I'm talking about, well, I'm saying manly. No. There definitely can be bad men because there are some guys, we wouldn't consider it manly for a man to trample on the weak. That's not manly. If we're talking about manliness, I'm talking
we
about
do.
pursuing the masculine virtues of protection.
Hang on.
Is
Men
conquest
are
manly?
rewarded. Men are rewarded for trampling on the weak all the time.
Yeah, they may be rewarded physically, but you wouldn't call that manly. We wouldn't associate that with manly.
Men
Don't
do.
agree.
If a
You
UFC fighter goes and punches a kid, you wouldn't call that manly. If a UFC fighter goes and punches a guy who's also a UFC fighter, you call that manly. And it's really just
What?
because it's a, well, I'm just saying it's because it's a signal towards the ability to protect better.
No, it's a signal towards violence.
Yeah, and since men have the monopoly on violence, we have to be capable of being violent towards those who try to intrude on the sovereignty of the people we love.
So the Poor Man's Podcast, you see how many times you've mentioned violence and harm in your definition of manliness, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a requirement to be able to fight and harm others and protect others from people causing harm and, being violent.
Yeah, that's a
Is that
yeah,
true?
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
a masculine virtue. Yes, not only other people though, but also animals too. Since animals are capable of violence, men have to be capable.
I'm talking about people.
Okay, so you
It doesn't matter what you're talking about. He's giving you the full scope of it, so you can't keep dancing around. Because what you're trying to say is that why do you have to be violent or have to be able to protect to be a man? Sorry, because that's part of the masculine trait. A guy stopping you, forcefully stopping you from doing whatever you're doing is a masculine thing. That's what it is. Ain't my fault that you want everybody to just talk it out. That's not how that works, sir. They're trying to force something that isn't real to be real. I'm gonna be honest with you. What do women say? It's giving retarded. That's what they would say, right?
okay? Well, we started with masculinity and manliness, and that attributes to the virtues of protection, and the protection is more widespread. But if you want to just only specifically talk about other men who try to intrude on the sovereignty of the ones you love, we can only talk about those men too. But there are other things that we use our violence to protect from.
Yeah,
So
I'm
how are
not
you
talking
gonna
about.
fight like a lion? How are you gonna fight like a lion if it comes?
Well, historically speaking, men gathered in groups and threw rocks at them.
Sure.
Okay, hang on. No, let's not go down the because first, no, we're not gonna do that.
Well, she just asked the question. I answered it. That's how you deal with a lion.
I know, but it's
Thanks for
objectively
answering the
ridiculous.
Hey, I'm the host, and I wanted to know because he says he's fighting animals. But okay, Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, but there's subtext to the nature
I know.
thing where
I
people
know.
try to apply that, and I don't like letting that
I
fly
just wanted to
because
see what he was gonna say, but go ahead.
Well,
What was that?
Tomo,
What
I
was I
think
gonna
the
say?
issue here is that violence is an underlying principle of nature, and I think probably because people have to, or things in general.
That right there, that is why I don't like.
See, he
the
just
nature
muted me again,
conversation,
Chad.
what
That's
he
why I
just
couldn't
said.
finish.
That's wild. So you muted him when he said violence is an underlying part of nature? Okay. He's part of the LGBTQIA plus community. That's who he is. That was the line he said. Oh no, I gotta mute him now. I knew he was gonna say violence is part of the nature. You are actually supposed to avoid people like them. TikTok people, these TikTok people who just say stuff and wear glasses that don't have prescriptions. They just wear them. avoid them or probably kick them. If they fall on the ground, I think everybody get at least one free one.
When we try
what did he say?
he said violence is something quality of nature. It's like natural. Violence is natural, and therefore
I hate appeals
we need
to
to.
nature.
What I was saying here is that violence is an underlying principle of nature, probably because not only humans but things have to eat, and in order to eat something, you have to be more capable of violence and aggression than that thing. Not only that, but also in order to have resources which are finite, humans and things have to be capable of violence and aggression in order to get those things and also to protect those things. That was the point that I was trying to make, but they muted me so I couldn't finish it.
Yeah, we need
That's
to be
true,
able.
you
Yeah,
say it.
exactly. So that's why I don't want to go down that road, is because then
You'll lose. You'll lose. That's why you didn't want to go down the road.
That's how people defend tying in masculinity with violence, and the ability to.
I just wanted to hear how you
on and on and on.
Well, I'm gonna.
Did that ever just say anti-homophobia? What is this? How did you just shoehorn that into the conversation? I can see that we in here with a group of people that's clearly on Skid Row. No, that's what I'm talking about. If you don't know,
Justify.
Callisto, I know what your point was, but there's a subtext to when dudes, no offense, dudes like this try to start talking about nature, like what he just said. Violence is natural, right? And so what we're doing is we're excusing the fact that men are the people who are being violent. Bo, what were you gonna say?
women are also being violent. You want to know who harmed children more? Yeah. You just let that sizzle in your spirit.
Oh no, just to finish the thought. Yeah. Oh wait, was I? Oh, okay, it's somebody else. I thought we were just debating. I didn't know.
So, what I need to know from you,
We're going door next,
sir,
Okay.
is what.
I have to be very
So
careful here, y'all, because they will
who
mute you and
protects-
kick you. So you kind of got to
who
play their
protects
little.
women when we're just kind of
PC
like
game.
out and about.
You said what protects women when you're out and about?
Who protects us? So if you all are the protectors, who protects us when we're out and about? Like you don't know me from a can of paint and somebody's trying to harm me. What you gonna do? You gonna protect me?
Well, it just depends on the scenario. It depends on if
Exactly.
I'm.
You are not a protector, sir. See, that's what I'm talking about. You all.
Did this heifer just pretend because he said it depends on the scenario, that means he's not a protector? So protectors protect everybody. She think unless you're Superman, you're not a protector. Because I'll let you know now, Batman protected people. Batman didn't protect everybody. Why would Batman would not protect a criminal from a criminal? You know, let me guess. I'm not a protector anymore because I won't protect a lady who has a crazy impulse to kick handicapped kids out of their wheelchair and then spit on them. Based off your logic, I should protect that lady. When people get the torches, get the pitchforks and torches for this lady who can't stop kicking handicapped kids, I'm supposed to be over there to protect her. Well, I'm not a protector. That's your logic? You're not supposed to protect everybody, man. But you know, we can tell you don't care because those glasses on you.
You didn't let
are
me
not
finish.
protecting
You
anyone.
didn't even let
It
me finish
doesn't
my
matter.
answer.
What you didn't say was, yes, I would protect you, because that's what a protector would say. See, me,
Yeah.
if I see a person, it doesn't matter who it is. If I see a person getting harmed, I am going to do something.
This lady with the out of shape back and the crayon lipsticks, she's gonna protect somebody if they're getting harmed. She's the protector. This right here, this out of shape Bruce Wayne, she's gonna protect somebody. Oh yeah, man, you know, cause she was at the house and she got done watching Die Hard like 1 and 2. Like she watched them on repeat. She's gonna protect the person she see. Ain't nobody can stop her. Yeah, she's not gonna run out of air or get tired before she get to the situation. She's gonna get there and she's gonna de-escalate it with her Jean-Claude Van Damme powers. She's gonna do it. This lady, you see how crazy they are? TikTok and microphones.
That is that you have a duty to protect the sovereignty of the people you love. You don't have to protect everybody because protection automatically comes with conditions and circumstances. For example, I wouldn't protect a child molester. That would be a condition and circumstance. That doesn't mean that I'm not a protector. It just means that I'm not going to protect that individual person because they don't align with me. Again, you have a duty to protect the sovereignty of the people that you love. And if they're outside of that, or you don't see fit to protect those people, it doesn't mean that you're less manly. But if you do go out of your way to protect the person who is weaker in a situation where they need protection, I think that that would be associated with manliness and bravery. And this is why traits like bravery, stoicism, and all these different traits are associated with masculinity, because they ultimately contribute to you being able to better protect and provide. This just goes further into my point also that women will try to shame men for toxic masculinity, but women actually love toxic masculinity, whatever that word means. Really is just the signs of aggression and violence. Women will try to shame men out of that behavior, but they actually love it, but they only love it when they can weaponize it for the benefit of other women. Like in this example, she's going to point out that she wants me to go to protect some random woman, and if I'm not willing to do that, then I'm not a man. But aren't violence and aggression bad things? Isn't that a contradiction? Well, it's only because women actually love toxic masculinity, but only when they can weaponize it. If they don't get the benefits of it, they don't like it.
You didn't let me follow up.
The answer was no. The answer was, well, I mean, so, because you were finna qualify. You were about to say, right, it depends.
Yeah, because it does depend, and I was gonna.
If you are a protector, you are going to protect. It does not depend. See, for me, it doesn't depend. People, no matter who they are, I don't have to know what your background is, how many bodies you got, who you did something. As a matter of fact, if in fact the man that unalived my child, you hear man, that unalived my child,
can we continue the discussion, please? This is not a discussion.
Don't interrupt, Bo.
She interrupted me. That's the whole point. That's why we're here. She's not letting me finish.
Hang on. Bo, don't forget your point. Poor Man's Podcast. You are new here, so I'm going to reiterate this. Bo, first off, I don't know if Bo is a mod or not. I can't remember. It don't matter. She is effectively a mod here, as am I. So if I interrupt you, or if Bo interrupts you,
it's allowed.
You're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely,
yeah. Okay.
it's allowed. But you cannot interrupt Bo when she is talking.
You're getting cooked in this conversation. This is why you're doing this.
Poor Man's Podcast.
Y'all are getting cooked.
You're on strike 2, gang. So,
also, after this point, I have a question.
Bro said I'm a mod.
Trouble. I would still at least call the police for him, because you know why? He is a
the police are.
Police are men. What he was about to say is correct. The police are men, and the police. Guess what the police gonna use? Police is going to use violence. Police is going to use aggression. They use all these things that y'all try to say is not this thing. That's what the police is going to use. This is actually upsetting my spirit now.
They're men that protect. What'd you say?
Also, what I'm saying is that protection and like actually making the world safer for people, it goes deeper than just the moments where you get to play the hero.
Okay,
in
society, who holds the role for protection then? It's women?
Oh my gosh.
Everybody holds the role for protection in society? So if there's a man and a woman in a house, traditionally speaking, or just commonly speaking, who's the one that's going to go check if there's a loud noise at the door?
Okay, so what Bo was saying...
So you want to just bypass what you just said? Even though you just said everybody. So I guess children are also protectors now, right? That's what we're doing. Children are protectors. Women who are 5'0" or 4'11". Oh yeah, those women are protectors, aren't they? Yeah, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard. I should have known that from that lady in there with those thick glasses and the muumuu dress in there cooking. Oh my!
One of the things she said that was a very good point. Is if you are only concerned about protecting your people, men are. Well, I'm not saying men are selfishly motivated, but Bo said that, and I don't disagree. But what I am saying is, if you're only concerned about protecting what you view as yours, like in that situation, and you're not concerned about protecting everybody who needs protection, then you're not a natural protector.
But that was the point that I was making in the beginning. I said you're protecting the sovereignty of the people you love. I love. Protecting the sovereignty of the people you love. You don't have to protect everybody. You don't have a duty to protect everybody. You have a duty to
That's
protect
what
the
Bo's
people
point
you
was.
love.
That Bo literally said, you are protecting people that are only in direct relation to you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
or
but
that
that's
you
just
are
making my
benefiting from
point.
in
I
some
said
way.
that from the start. It's the sovereignty of the people you love. That's making my point.
He said
That's
said
just an
that.
extension of yourself. You happen to have an investment in that person, so you want to make sure they're safe. That doesn't mean you actually care about people being safe. But yeah, what we were getting at, as well as everything Bo said, so verbal violence is its own real violence. But also, when we're talking
There's
about
no
that
such
example
thing as
I gave-
verbal violence. Violence is automatically.
No,
Violence is
has a lot of
physical. That's
different
literally the
forms.
definition.
I know.
There's no
I
verbal
think-
violence.
Not literally the definition.
We can find out right now. Give me a second. Violence. Behavior involving physical force intended to hurt, damage, or delete someone or something. Ma'am, it seems like you don't go read definitions. It looks like violence has everything to do with force, like a physical thing happening to you. It's like I didn't just pull it up and read it. Like now I'm wondering, where did you pull it up and read it at? It's crazy.
Literally a violence prevention educator. There are a lot of different forms of violence, but verbal violence is its own problem. But it also, when we're talking about examples like the one I gave you and most examples of verbal violence, it is directly related to physical violence as well. So if you're not shutting down those things at the bottom of the pyramid on the screen there, then you are not helping protect people from the stuff at the top. Okay? That's what I'm saying.
So if
Go
you
ahead.
don't have conditions under which you will protect, you are automatically not a protector? Because I would assume that everybody has conditions for what they will protect and what they won't protect.
You said it's natural manliness to be a protector.
Yes.
So now you're putting conditions all around it.
Yeah, because protection has conditions inherently. Yeah.
Okay.
Because to you,
No, you're
it's
describing
transactional.
transactions.
If there's
You're describing a transaction.
if there's a man harming
Oh
a
my
woman,
God.
I'm not gonna protect the man because I don't protect men who harm women.
Poor man's
That's the
podcast.
condition.
No.
Hey, yo, I ain't gonna lie. That was that. He got you right there. He got you again. Do y'all can't hear yourselves? You know, it's called alcohol. Y'all should stop partaking in it and then getting on the internet and speaking. Wild parts. Rather that they kicked him. Big screen. That's TikTok for you. TikTok be having heated debates where they allow people to just go berserk. Mute, and kick people. Mute, kick people. Mute, kick people. And just say words. This heifer said verbal violence. Verbal violence. You know that's a person who gets uncomfortable when they leave out their house. If there's a such thing as verbal violence, you need to stay in the house. If I was you, I wouldn't even advise you to do Instacart. If you do Instacart and have somebody in your house who don't believe in verbal violence, come get your stuff from out the front yard once they drop it off. That was just foolish, what I just heard. And they think they're making sense. That's why it put fear in my heart. If I be honest with you, Poor Man Podcast, you should probably stay clear from TikTok. I don't know what makes you think you can go over there and talk to them. But you have a hard time dealing with these heifers. They're crazy. Heifers and that guy who clearly supports dudes on dudes. So that was wild what I heard.
Oh, you know what that was? Oh, that doo-doo, baby.